Hey there gamers, Game Blitz here with a battle on the 109 E3 here on Norway. A map that nobody likes, so Gaijin throws into super rotation. Spawning in at 2k, I decided to climb all the way up towards 7k because this is how this map works. It ends up being just a massive climb fest to 7k, and then you are safe, or you're not even safe, you're at equal altitude with the allies now. So it just leads to a massive fight up high. But luckily enough, none of the enemies actually climbed up to above 6k. In fact, these P40s I see right in front of me are the ones that climbed up the highest. So I level off. I'm not going to bother climbing above where I am already at 7k. Just so I can actually be able to see something. And I actually begin a slow descent. Build up some speed to close the distance to them while also maintaining the altitude advantage. Start picking up my targets. Not actually choosing which target I'm going to go for just yet because I'm still got plenty of distance to go there and the fight can quickly change hands. But I am tracking targets. I see that P40 that is lit up right in front of me, and there is another P40 over there, and the Hurricane joins the fight. So begin a more steeper dive, start making my attack. The E3 is a tricky 109. Most people find one of the worst 109s in the line. I actually love this plane a lot, for the simple reason that it is just very powerful at its tier. The only thing that lets it down, the thing that's usually a deal breaker for most of the enemies, or for most of the players, is the cannons. There are two MG FF cannons, not even the FFM cannons, but the FF cannons, with only 60 shots each. The FF cannons are worse than the FFMs because they do not shoot the more high explosive round that the Germans use in the other cannons, including the 151s and the FFMs. Which means the damage used to be a lot less, but with the introduction of the new damage model physics in 1.49, the cannons I think are actually performing better. As you see right there, quick burst, no more than probably 10 rounds on that guy, and he blew apart, which is very nice. This is actually the first flight I flew in the plane since the new patch, so very pleased with how the cannons have been performing. And here's another P40, threw himself straight up, didn't realize I was over here, and another quick burst, he's gone. So, what I love about the 109 E3 is it is a combination of everything. It is an amazing energy fighter, which is the best thing about it. But you also have the maneuverability. Granted, it's not Spitfire levels of maneuverability, but you're still more maneuverable than the later 109s to play around with the plane a little more. The plane is, for the low tiers, it's a great trainer for people who want to go down the 109 line, because I feel that it's a forgiving plane, but it trains you to do the right tactics for a 109, which is energy fighting. Now this is all my opinion, as I put a lot of hours into 109s and flew a lot of battles in them, and do rather well in them. So after engaging those two P40s, I gained back some altitude. I'm now only at 3.3k. Though the fight seems to be all down low. Granted, this is lower tier, so I'm not expecting the biggest maneuvers out of everybody. And I did see in the battle message there was a Spitfire killing our AI on Norway. And that was that Spitfire right there. I go tracking after him and find him down below. So, calculating that he is the only one that's still at altitude, which he was, I then dive down, start making my attack runs. And I see a Hurricane over here. Flying very low though, so I'm going to be very cautious with my attack, and it ends up not being a good attack run just because I don't want to risk what that Falkwolf did right there, which was go too fast into the ground and just hit it. So pull back up, gain the altitude. Spitfire's over there, he actually has a lot of energy, so if I can get the attack run on him, he's going to be the priority target, but I see I have a better attack run on the Buffalo. So I line up a shot. The Hurricane passes right below me. At the shot, I do crit him there. No, the replay system doesn't say it, and I actually fly right below that Spitfire. Very close to that. I do crit him very severely. I believe I got his whole tail control, so he's now out of the fight. He ends up just flying off to the side and dies eventually. So with him confidently damaged out of the fight, definitely out of the fight, but I'm not sure if he's actually going to go down yet. I switch targets, go at this P40 who rolls inverted, gets clipped by the trees and goes down. So, moral kill there. Not really counting it, but you know, moral kills. And now target the Spitfire. Makes a pass underneath. I fire a couple shots into him, do get hits, but nothing severe. And sometimes That's the nature of the 151s. I dodge a Hurricane's head on. I don't want to go against 7.7s. And the Do 217 and the Hurricane decide to ram each other. Which is very helpful. I'm glad we had that fair trade. Now, there's a P-36 off to my right, along with another Buffalo, and this Spitfire, which are the last couple guys on the team. So, I start tailing them. I was actually looking to my left because that's where that Buffalo was, where I critted earlier. I was not sure if I should finish him off, but I decided since he's just flying off the side, he's as good as dead. So I start making my target. The Spitfire's outrunning me, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do here yet. And the other best thing about Norway is, in the middle of the map, the artillery just love you. AAA open up like nobody's business. The cruisers open fire. Base A opens fire. It's just a magical time. So P-36 lines up right below me, presents himself really well. I pull my lead, but he makes just a slight turn. Means I can't get enough shots on him, but I do crit his tail, I believe his elevator controls, and I got his gear leg. So he's not landing today. And the Buffalo is also fixated on that 109, or 190 for that matter. So I line up on the P-36 again, but I'm not going to waste any more cannon rounds. I was down to about 20 rounds left of that. So I'm just going to fire the 7.7, see if I can crit him. And this is where I made a mistake. I probably should have gone for that Buffalo when he went vertical. I would have had the shots and killed him, and that could have saved a lot of time in this battle. So that Buffalo ends up becoming a big player in this game. Not for the same reasons as you might think, but he does end up becoming a player. So Buffalo then pulls straight up onto me. I have a little more energy over him, so I pull myself straight up. And I stall out just as he starts to stall out. So he's not firing at me, which is interesting. Might tell you he's out of ammo or he's very low on ammo. He's not keen on firing. So he pulls up right behind me, and I just pull the nose down. Level flight, I can easily outrun the Buffalo, and he knows that. So he breaks off. I pull straight up, trade that energy into altitude, to trade back the energy later on, as the cruisers continue to have it out for me. It's a miracle I haven't been shot down, because this fight always goes like that. And the P-38 passes right beneath my nose as I'm tracking over there. And I'm kind of annoyed he hasn't gone down yet, so I start lining up on him. No idea what happened to that Spitfire, but he ends up flying out of the fight. I don't know where he went, but he just ends up dying. Not even shot down by a teammate, he just disappears from the fight. Meanwhile, firing 7.7s do more tail damage. Smoke his engine, but now the base is going after me. But this Buffalo, I see him landing. And I have no shame. I want to get this fight over. I want to get out of this artillery thrust, so I strafe him, cut off his wing, and he's on the runway. But he ends up actually being able to repair, despite the death. But no matter, I just level this thing straight down, try to get as low to the ground as possible, so hopefully flak doesn't hit me all the way, and just try to get as much distance as possible. So we had 3 kills this match with 2 other planes that have been critically damaged. Not a very good fight so far. It has been a rather good fight for Norway, in fact, because usually it just ends up being a climb fest, and it's very nice to be low. So that P-38 ends up dying, crashes into the ground right by his cruisers, probably hanging around his cruisers just hoping the AAA could take me out. And now what I'm doing is I'm actually looking behind me. I'm seeing that Buffalo has not left the fight. He's still grayed out in his name tag. So I'm thinking he might be damaged, or he might be repairing. See that what we have left is that Spitfire, the Buffalo who's damaged on the runway, and the Buffalo I critted earlier, which will crash soon. So I'm looking behind, there he is. And the second his red box disappears, I turn back around. Now by this point, I was out of cannon ammo. So I was contemplating if I should go RTB or not. But I decided, you know what, if he's going to take off, it's best to get him right as he's low on energy. And there he goes. He respawned. The game changes every once in a while, so now in this recent patch, if you get shot down and you're on the runway, you're still good. So I go back over to get him. Try to get him after he takes off. I don't want to really strafe him out of there, but he's going to get off the ground before I even get there anyway. as flak opens up on me again. I am now the only fighter left on my team. There's 2 SM-79s that are also on my team, but I'm the last one fighting against what ends up just being this guy. So it's just essentially a 1v1 fighter mode. As I put the plane in shallow dive, he's now running away from me, probably running for the safety of his ships as well. This is how this fight's going to play out soon. And that buffalo I created a long time ago finally went down. If I flew up to the side of the map and just lost everything. Now this buffalo makes a U-turn and pulls straight up. He bled so much energy in that turn, he's going to have nowhere near enough energy to go that, and he's already stalling. Just pull into a shallow turn, and right as he's at the top of his stall, I load in on him. But I just can't get the shots, and since I'm out of cannon, if I had cannon there, I probably could have done more damage there. But nevertheless, I pull my plane straight up again, and what we're actually engaging in right now is a rough rolling vertical scissors. In that we're just using energy as we're getting one person's bottom is looped, the other person's at the top is looped, and it's just this type of maneuvering. So I've actually never really been in this type of situation. I've been in similar situations, but nothing fully like this. I'm surprised how this buffalo's energy retention is just actually rather good, that he's able to pull his plane straight down, pull back up, and get that energy back. By this point, I've run out of enough energy to keep doing what he's doing, so I just pull the plane into a shallow dive and just climb away, or dive away, for that matter. Now, I'm doing this for 2 reasons. One, I actually had enough energy to continue that, but I did not like the artillery firing all over me. So I wanted to switch the tide of battle so that my AAA was shooting at him instead of his AAA shooting at me, but he probably sensed I was doing that. So he turned back around going to his AAA. So now I am at the dilemma of, do I want to RTB or do I want to go after him? I start making a turn thinking I want to go after him. And seeing he's running, I do turn and follow him. But I'm still contemplating in my mind. He looks like he's running. He's just not even fighting over his base. He's just running for the hills. So, just contemplating it. It's always a game of just guess if you're at the right time. He can just as easily turn back around, come after me. Now I'm just going to skip over this landing because it's a standard landing and nothing very interesting. So after taking off, I fly back over A, looking for him. I dive out of the clouds, which is a cloud base of 3K. Just looking for him, seeing if he went back to his runway, and he didn't. Just scanning around, and I do spot the dot right over there. He's flying back over his base. I actually do type in chat. I'm going to give him the option to repair because I was not sure if he was out of ammo. He declines it for some reason. He just climbs straight back up to get me. Now by this point the fight's been going on for about 15 minutes. Just from the fight from where I cut it to now. So it's been a very long fight. I just want this to be over with. And so I just make a dive on him as he's going straight on up. The camera's going crazy with War Thunder like this. He goes at the top of the stall, I get hits on him, and I get his central gear light. Most overpowered damage model I could have hit. He's now not landing. Community is dead no matter what, thank God, but it's a slow, painful death, paper cuts. So, pull back up, keep that energy over him. As he's climbing up to get me, he's got nowhere near enough energy to come anywhere near me. Roll back over in a stall. He's having trouble even keeping his nose up, and he's reached the point where his plane doesn't want to right angle, and more sparks. And this is why some people don't like the E3, these cannons. Everything about the plane is good except for the cannons. If it had more ammo, people probably could tolerate it more. If it did more damage, people would tolerate it more, but it's just the nature of these FF cannons. Which is why when they introduce the E4, the 109 E4, it's going to be even better because it's just going to be like this plane. Now, I give up on trying to energy fight him. I just go head on, wait till I'm very close. The cannons go straight in his engine and blow him apart. That was the end of the fight. Ended this fight pretty well. I was very pleased with how well I used the 109 as a pure energy fighter. It ended up being 6 kills. I know it says 5, but it didn't register that Techno Drake there because it doesn't say a second death for him. So 6 kills in the 109 E3. Very good fight. So thanks for watching, guys. If you do like the video, do click the like button down below and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you in the skies.